Today I'm making hot honey chicken and waffles. Today I'm gonna murder my husband over chicken and waffles. One more. All right, so I was in Kroger yesterday and I saw Belgian waffles. And I decided that I was gonna make hot honey chicken and waffles. Had hot honey and chicken biscuits before, they've been really good. So I decided that I was gonna take and make my fried chicken, put some honey in it, or on it, put a little bit of Tabasco and some butter. And
some Tabasco and butter.
Yeah, it's hot honey butter. Hot honey butter on the chicken. So I'm gonna make my fried chicken like I normally make my fried chicken, which is super simple. And then you fry it, then we're gonna plate it on our waffles after we toast our waffles in our lovely Instapot air fryer, because those are awesome.
And then your husband's gonna eat it.
And then my husband's gonna eat it, yeah. If I don't murder him first over it.
In that bag looks very dangerous. And y'all, she has a good swing on her. So sure, I'm a little nervous. I'm backing up a little bit.
Okay, let's get to it. So we got most of our ingredients here. Oh, we're missing something.
What are we missing?
How are we gonna have chicken and waffles with no chicken? Our chicken's over here. So we have our chicken. So before we start cutting up our chicken, I'm gonna get my egg wash made and then my flour. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the egg wash. I'm gonna crack 2 eggs. Get rid of those eggshells, because we don't need those. Okay. And then we're going to whisk up our eggs. Like to just kind of stab the yolks first and get them broke up a little bit. And then we're gonna whisk up our eggs, beat them just ever so slightly, not enough for them to pop tops. And then we're gonna put in our milk. And I have about a cup of milk here. It's just whole sweet milk. Mix it up. All right, so we got that. Now I need about 1.5 cups of flour. So I'm gonna grab my measuring cup, 1/2 cup, and then 2 more 1/2 cups to make a whole cup. So there's 1/2 cup. And my other 1/2 cup that makes a whole cup. My last 1/2 cup that makes a whole 1.5 cups. With my salt, I just measure it in my hand. About that much. Throw that in there.
How much do you think that is, though? People at home are going to want to know.
Measure it, I would say probably about a teaspoon. All right, so we've added our salt in. Now we're going to add our pepper. That one was easy. But I went and bought some more because I run out of seasonings quite a lot. You can have good chicken without seasonings. They make these little boxes so hard. You know what? You can always take a butter knife when you can't get them open and you pop it under the edge and you got it. I kind of just 2 little pinches is good. And you just break the rest of it in there. For the people who like to measure, I use probably about 1/4 teaspoon of pepper if you want to measure it out. It's just kind of, again, whatever feels good to you. And I will give a taste test once I get all my stuff mixed up, just to make sure I don't need to add anything into my flour. I cook a lot by taste and feel, just whatever feels good. All right, and then my paprika, I am gonna measure my paprika. All right, so I just added 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. And now I'm gonna add a whole teaspoon of garlic powder first. Really like garlic, so I go a little bit heavier with the garlic because we like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to add as much. You know, again, it's whatever feels good to you. It's a great thing about cooking. You can make it to your liking, so you don't have to do it one specific way. All right, and I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Got that added. And we're gonna set those over to the side because we might need to add a little bit more. But before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and mix it up. And you're gonna kind of want your flour to be like, have a slight red hue to it from the paprika. That's how, you know, you got some good seasonings in there. And then once you get it good and mixed up, you're just gonna take a little pinch. Give it a taste. So we're gonna add a little bit more salt because it didn't quite get enough. So we're gonna go back and add just about that much. That's probably about a 1/4 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon, somewhere around in there. We're gonna throw that in, give it a good mix, and then taste it again and see if it's okay. I think that's good. I'll wash your hands real quick. Ooh, that's hot. Yeah, put it up in your hand, your arm. Get rid of that. All right, so we got our egg wash and we've got our flour. Before we start cutting our chicken, we're gonna go ahead and add our canola oil. We're gonna use about 1.5 cups. Because you want your skillet about 1/4 or 2/4 of the way full, just enough to cover your chicken. So we're gonna do 1.5 cups of oil. Looks good. We're gonna go ahead and put that on medium-high to let it start heating up. You'll start to see your oil kind of swirl once you know that it's ready. And while we're doing that, we're gonna get over here and start cutting our chicken. I need a knife. Got our good knife. But before I do that, I'm gonna grab a couple paper towels because I like to pat off my chicken. It helps to have the seasonings and stuff stick to it. Makes it not as wet, and we're gonna pat that off. So I pat it off pretty good, get it nice and dry. All right, and then I'm gonna clean up my chicken just a little bit, kind of cut some of the extra fat off. They kind of leave it on there. So we're just gonna trim it down. And I'm not gonna cook this as a whole chicken breast. I'm going to break it into different size pieces. So we're gonna cut that little chunk off, and then we're gonna come through and slice it long ways so that we have 2 good pieces. And then this little chunk I cut off, I'm also gonna come through and slice it as well. Okay, so now we got 4 little slices of chicken. You can cut it down even smaller if you don't like it super big, but I'm gonna go ahead, wash my hands really quick. Okay, so we have our cling wrap. We're glad we have cling wrap. It's called cling wrap. I don't call it cling wrap for nothing.
Cling or clean?
Cling.
Yeah, 100%. It's very clingy.
Cling.
They named that after our son.
Yeah, he's clingy too. Not as much as the dogs though. The dogs are super clingy.
Yeah, guys, so this is our channel. Originally, you can go back and watch some of our recipes. The quality is not great. This quality might not be great depending on what your standard is, but we've started this channel back up. We wanted to show recipes, but we're not only going to show recipes in this channel, are we?
No, we're going to kind of show some of our life. Our life has changed a lot since about 2017 when we started that first. We now have a son. We now have 3 dogs instead of 2. We have careers. We have a bigger house. We have cars. We have bills. We've changed a lot since then. So
I want to go back to the bills.
yeah, I would like to go back to not having bills like we used to. That would be great.
With that being said, like and subscribe. It will help out a ton.
Yeah. Slide this over because just in case cling wrap bust open, it won't get on my butcher block countertops. I do have food safe butcher block countertops, but my countertops, I prefer not to cut raw chicken on them. I do clean them daily. Somebody is not very good at not spilling stuff on my countertops, which I'm not great either. So they do stain super easy if you're looking at butcher block countertops. They are not my favorite. Kind of just had them in the house when we bought the house, so we're kind of stuck with them for now. But they are nice when you run out of food prep surfaces. You can clean them and then cut stuff. I usually only prep vegetables if I have to on my butcher block countertops because meat, gross, germs, salmonella, nobody wants that. And I just feel like I can't get them clean enough to do actual meats on them. But that's okay. So I've got a piece of cling wrap laid, got my chicken on top of it, and then another piece of cling wrap laid down just to kind of help keep my chicken in place and to keep any kind of juices and stuff splattering as I sit here and tenderize. So we're gonna pat down our chicken and make it flatter. This just helps to make it easier to cook, and it also makes it thinner. We don't like super thick chicken. We prefer to have it kind of thinner. It makes it cook faster too, so you don't have to sit there and try to cook it as long. And it just makes better chicken to me. But you don't have to do this step. You can skip it. Again, whatever feels right to you. Okay, let's move our knife out of the way. Safety first. All right, they're not super flat, but they are flat. They're good tenderized. So we're gonna get rid of our mallet. We're gonna stick that in the sink. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull back on my cling wrap and try to separate it the best that I can. Ooh, my oil's getting kind of hot, so we're gonna slide our oil off. I'm starting to smell it, so I know that it's heating up, that it's hot, but I don't wanna scorch my oil, so I'm gonna go ahead and slide it back just to kind of let it cool a little bit so it doesn't keep heating up while I get my chicken ready. And then right before I put my chicken in, I will slide it back on the heat and let it heat back up a little bit. Once I get ready to put my chicken into the oil, I'm gonna slide it back on the eye and I'm gonna test it. You can test your oil by dropping a few flakes, just a pinch of flour into your oil. And if it bubbles and kind of crisp, you know you're good. If it just sits there and doesn't really do much, you know your oil's not hot enough. So we have our meat tenderized, our chicken is flat. We're gonna come over here and kind of maneuver some of this stuff out of the way. And so we're gonna take our chicken, drop our first piece. You go in the flour first, press it down a little bit, get that flour good and stuck on it. Flip it, press it down, good. All right, so once we have our chicken coated, we're gonna go into our egg wash. And you don't have to stay in the egg wash very long. You just want it to get covered. And then we're gonna come back and go back into our flour. All right, so once you have your chicken good and coated in the flour, pull it out, shake it off, you put it in your egg wash, put it in your flour, and I'm just gonna lay it to rest on a plate. I like to, again, let my chicken rest till it kind of gets kind of gooey looking, and then I'll throw it back in the flour before I put it in my oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and flour up all of the rest of my chicken while I let my oil kind of heat back up. All right, so my oil's kind of starting to swirl a little bit, so I know that it's good and hot, and I'm gonna also just take a little pinch of flour, and I'm gonna drop it in. And you see how it kind of automatically starts to bubble? So I'll put a little bit more in. That's how you know your oil is good and hot. You can also take your little piece of your chicken, and before I put it in there, I'm gonna throw it back in my flour, make sure it's good and coated, shake it off. So we're gonna come over here to our oil, we're gonna kind of dip it in. You can kind of see that it starts to bubble. So we're just gonna go on and lay that on in there. Probably shouldn't touch that with my finger. Hot oil, safety first. Okay, so we got one piece going, we're gonna go ahead and get the next piece. You kind of have to move quick. Put it in our oil, our flour. Shake it off, bring it over here. And start to fry. All right, so we got it good. It's frying. We're gonna flip it over so the other side can get good and crispy. It's going good, isn't it? Nice and hot. Smells delicious.
Oh, that looks so good.
All right, so we're gonna check our chicken. I think it might be about done. We're gonna pull it out of the grease. We need to put it back. We will. We're gonna let that piece go a little bit longer. But I have a temperature gauge I like to check and make sure that we have hit the food safe temperature, 165. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in. Yep, we're there. So we know that that chicken is good and done and safe to eat. And I'm gonna check it just in one other place. We're temping 174, it's 183, so we know that that is good. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this other piece, go and pull it out as well, and get our other two last pieces fried up. 176, 189, ooh, we jumped really high there. 183, 185. All right, so we have our chicken, it's temping, it's good and cooked, it's all nice and golden brown. So we're gonna get our waffles going and then get our honey butter going. We have our waffles. Like I said, we're gonna use our Insta air fryer. Probably should close that, right? We're gonna use our Insta air fryer to get our waffles heated up and toasted. So we're gonna go ahead and open these Private Select Belgian waffles. They are the traditional style. They smell like waffles. If you have a large family, these are probably not the best option for you.
We wanted to go a little bit of the easier route than just making waffles.
So y'all know we have a baby. He's down for a nap. Never know when he's gonna wake up. It's just really hard to get everything made at one time. It's a big challenge to go ahead and make your chicken and everything. So we just cut a little bit of a step out by having pre-made waffles. Plus they look really good. So we're gonna toast our Belgian waffles in our air fryer, because who doesn't love an air fryer? Go ahead, and I am just going to, we'll do the broil setting. 400, we'll set a timer for about 10 minutes and we'll let that go. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my butter for our honey butter. You need about 2 tablespoons of butter.
Or 8 if you're from the South.
Yeah, or about 8 sticks if you're from the South, you know. We just had Thanksgiving. Can't tell you how many packets of Blue Bonnet I went through for Thanksgiving. With that turkey, those sweet potatoes, hash brown casserole, all that kind of stuff, dressing. We go through lots of butter in the South. So, we've got our butter in our bowl. And I'm actually gonna take it out of this bowl and put it in a microwave safe bowl so I can heat it up just a little bit. This bowl is not a microwave safe. So we wanna make sure we keep our food in safe bowls. And we're gonna microwave it for about 20 seconds just to get that butter melted. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and grab our honey, open it up, and we're gonna pour in about 2 tablespoons of honey. All right, so we have our 2 tablespoons, so about half and half butter. We can add more honey if we need to when we get down to tasting it and stuff. So we have our melted butter here. It's not completely melted, but as you mix it, it will melt the rest of the way. So we're gonna go ahead and pour that butter on in there, and we're gonna mix that up. And it will start to thin as you incorporate that honey with that butter. So we're gonna add some red hot franks to our honey to make it a hot honey butter.
Man, what about the Tabasco?
Yeah, I said Tabasco earlier, but you know I got to looking for it. Oh, we ain't got none. So we go on what we got. because I'm not going to the store for hot sauce. So I'm gonna add, and I am gonna measure because I don't like a whole lot of hot stuff. So I'm gonna measure my red hot, not my Tabasco. So we're gonna do about 1/4 of a teaspoon. Okay, so we got that in there, and we're gonna mix it up. Maybe a little pinch of salt. Can't go wrong with salt, you know. And I'm just gonna do a very small pinch. So I've added some, started out with about that much. Just grab it up, it's a pinch. Get rid of the rest of it. Give it another little taste test. We can give it a little bit more of a kick. We're gonna add a little more red hot, maybe another 1/4 of a teaspoon. Again, you can always add more, can't take away. So it's good to start with a little and then keep going. So we're gonna add that in, get it mixed up, then we gotta get over here and get our waffles before they burn. Come over here and check on our waffles. I think they're good and toasted. They smell good too.
Now it's time to put it on a plate and fix it, right?
And so we're gonna get up Chris's plate plated.
Not just my plate.
For the husband.
I
got these chicken waffles for you, not for me.
Oh, you're just fooling yourself now.
I'm not. I got these chicken waffles.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna take our waffles. We're gonna lay down a bed of waffles. Then we're gonna grab our chicken. We're gonna put our chicken on there. And then we're gonna drizzle our honey butter on there.
That looks so good, guys.
Nice and drizzle. We're gonna do another one. He likes honey butter. He's a big fan of honey butter.
I'm a big fan of any kind of butter and fried chicken.
And that looks good. We got it good to go.
Alrighty, it is time to eat.
That's so good.
That's not a bite.
I'll take baby bites, okay?
No, that's a nibble.
Baby bites. So that was a great meal. It was easy to make. Really skipping the steps with buying pre-made Belgian waffles. They're really good. They're really sweet, but they're good. It's a nice Sunday brunch. Nice, easy, fairly inexpensive Sunday brunch. Like and subscribe for more.